Hey everybody, DayTraderRockStar here with the HPS watch list for the week of, and I think we're going to be on the, what date are we going to be on? The 14th, Monday the 14th when we open it. It's Friday, of course, and we're here once again for another HPS. Great week, actually, a very good week. Market was good. We're going to first take a look at the HPS, well, actually the market radar, SPX. On the S&P 500, there is, it's cut and dry as far as I could see. The market has been rallying. We were looking for a rally, as we were gotten extremely oversold the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks now going into. It looks like going into 3 weeks, and everything was worked out just according to the chart. Especially the weekly chart got oversold. We sold off. The daily, the same thing. Once we got oversold, we kind of sold off, capitulated a bit, and then bounced, pulled back a little. The important parts are the underlying trend line of a 1-2-3 pattern, which we've broke down and we came back and tested. Most of the stocks have followed this pattern and now are back into the major pattern. We're embedded, and this could go either way. I mean, we could have good news, could continue to push higher, or we could get a little pullback here. The question, I guess the big question is, does the market feel like the bottom is put in here? Or are we gonna return at least back to the recent lows? A lot of people out there sometimes want to see a retest of the lows. So I'm not putting that in there as a must be, but if we do get down there for whatever reason, there's levels that I'd be watching. But right now, market's in a kind of a place called an interesting place here where we could spike higher into the top trend line, and I think that's where I'm leading. But if we do have any bad news, there's plenty of downside here also. We're going to take a look at the 60-minute time frame, which yesterday we got oversold, and then we bounced back up and continued to move higher. So even the 60-minute was helping out, and I like the next 60-minute pullback. The problem is we're extended here. We're probably overdue for a 60. And I would like to see that. We had a fast rotation back on the 60 here. We got oversold and then quickly bounced. So look how we've been embedded all day on the 60. Been showing good strength. Any positive news will push this higher. Any negative news, of course, will probably drop this and see a retracement. I don't see anything out there that's really damaging to the markets, though. The underlying trend line here on the 60-minute could be an area to watch also. Let's put that in here. Pretty close. And if we do get a pullback, maybe we pull back to that trend line. We're holding right under 2,600. We're above 2,500. 2,500 was our last level. Looks like a good level to watch. We banged up a couple times, pulled back, finally broke through it. If we pull back to it, I'd watch it to hold. That would be our pull-back zone, anywhere in that, give or take 10 points. Let's talk about individual stocks now. We've been doing an open house, so that'll end next week. We're going to get really back into a good groove in the market here. Let's just take a look. I started doing a kind of a preliminary watch list yesterday, and we sent it out. So if you got that, you had some ideas what we were looking for. Data was one that I was concentrating on a little today, and then I held off. I wanted to wait for it. On that 60-minute time frame is kind of coiled up, so we're looking for this to pop. The daily, even the daily is rotating back. There is a nice little pullback here. We're going to see if we can actually hold or move back. Remember, sometimes our entries are based off of trend lines, but anytime we have a decent possible setup and you have a downward trend and you're looking for a bounce, we're looking for a set of candles that represent a change of trend, and that would be a move higher or a higher high in the candles. If you can see, we've been making lower lows here until we made a higher high, and then we had a few days lower lows here. Here we had a higher high. We held the lows and we continued to move higher. Off of that one, this one, same thing. Once we get that higher high and a pretty decent pullback, we usually get some follow through. So this pullback right here I would continue to look for that. I would look for a higher high, and that's how we're going to set this trade up for us. All right, we're going to set this trade up right now on the HPS watch list and look for a higher high. Let me do that right now for you. All right, here's what we have planned, and it's basically just looking for a higher low on this to get us back up into that profit zone. So probably we'll take that trade if we get a break higher. So 1, 2, 3, 4 pullback. Wanted to see if we held at 20. Didn't really do that. Held off on this, and we'll wait for a positive momentum change on this. The daily is pointing down, but the 60 is set up, so we could actually get that as a quality name pushing higher. So let me lock this one in. You got a picture of it. All right, so we got that down for you. Again, one more time. I did add that to the HPS setups there. So that is programmed into the charts. Let's continue on. Now, I did pick up the Match.com this week, and it's, you know, other than a consolidation holding strength and liking the company, not that far off the highs above the 200 period moving average. More bullish than most stocks. We're in the middle of this gap. Our gap closed, it's 50 and change. It's trading at 44 and change. So I could see us moving up here. First resistance is going to be that 48 area here, 48 area. But that's where we are right now. You know, take it at the news. It did sell off a little at the end of the day. It did pop and continue to push higher and then sold off and closed pretty much right where we opened up. So we have to get through the highs here. Again, 45.77, 45.77 probably would be that breakout. Let's take a look at the daily, see if we put that on the list. I mean, yeah, I kind of like that for a breakout there. It's been 45. Again, closing that gap would be 50. Yeah, all right. I like it. I like it. Let me put it out. Let me get it together for you. All right, here's the matched group. And again, another breakout. We want to have strength going into these. We want the momentum. I'm in this one, so looking for a little further pop up to kind of close that gap. Take it off. I'm not giving you a big, I mean, these could go much further, but I'm being very cautious and holding it close to the hip here. There's two trend lines. I had to watch the closing trend line, closing price, and the extension of the candles. I put the stop underneath, really, the extension of the candles, just for the future. If we go back, like I said, it's always good to revisit the HPS watch list to take a look at important trend lines and support and resistance lines. So this one is on the list, being more liberal with them today, or at least this week, just kind of getting some out there. All right, let's move this one on. All right, one more look at that setup here. And again, not a big runner, but this actually could go much farther than I have planned. So we have to always remember that a good chart here. We're just looking for the HPS watch list is based off of what we call the 10 for 1,000 watch list, and the stocks that it was supposed to be 10 originally, or this list was 10 stocks that would move $1. Meaning that, you know, if you had 10 stocks, you put 100 shares in each one, they move $1. You get 10 stocks for $1,000 a week. It's kind of morphed into an HPS watch list where we take the best setups of the week, but it doesn't have to be 10 exactly. We don't want to force anything. But because of the setup and the short-term moves potential here, I want to add it to the list. Now, I've been getting into a couple of cheaper stocks, and these are always a little bit more dangerous. Low float, momentum stocks, and I tend to not to put them on there. But I'm putting this one on here, MTC, because it hasn't. It's such a new issue, and it opened up here. I don't know if there's a new issue to deal, whatever. Down here at the $4, $5 area, went up to $10, $11, pulled back to $8, now bouncing again. So who knows where this could end up going with how these stocks are reacting. This thing rips we were looking at some stocks today, for example, stocks like, let's see here, ORGO. I mean, the crazy ones. I mean, they have these moves where they open up here 40, 30, 40 to $15, and they go to $300. I mean, it's a craziness. A lot of those stocks have been popping up on my screen, and just amazing some of the moves here. So want to just bring that into you. Here's Clips. Remember this one? CLPS. I believe that was a recent IPO, and it ran, then it pulled all the way back. Ooh, we have to look back at that. Actually, I want to do a scan for you next on these IPOs. I mean, I'd love to get into it, but I know these are dangerous, so I don't want to bring too much danger to your watch list. I know a lot of people are beginner traders, and that's not something that you're going to learn proper techniques with, but they are potential movers. So if you have that disposable income, just keep an eye on the real-time show, because that's when we'll pick these up. I have a new scanner that picks these up early in the morning. This one actually clips. Definitely interesting on the day here. All right, we're going to pass. We're going to just remember that one. I showed you a good scan for the IPO. I want to do it again on the watch list for some of the newer members. And what I use is Finviz, FINVIZ.com. Good site here. It really has a lot of tools on it. And you're going to go up here to your screener right here. Click on this. And then we're going to have a screener show up here, and I'm going to just move this up here so we can see it a little bit better. Don't mind the ads that pop up here on the bottom. You have to pay for everything somehow. Let's see here. Let's move that over. All right, so we went there, and then right down here on the first page on the screener, you see IPO date. So I'm just going to pull that menu down. I'm just going to go out for the last 3 months. We'll try last quarter. Let's go to last quarter here. That's going to give us the IPOs. And then what I'm going to do is, how many did that give us? It gave us 1 of 4, maybe 64. 64 stocks to look at fast. And then I'm going to break these down. I'm going to keep them alphabetical. I'm going to push on the chart icon there, and that way it's going to just give me the charts to look at. And I'm going to just identify these to you just by looking at the charts. Sometimes you get a pullback into a decent IPO. It's just a matter of time before it breaks higher. So just looking at some of these, and I'll do a couple scans. You can see it opened up, pull back, open up, pull back. But there has to be some quality to it. It can't be just a Chinese crap stock. And some of these are slowly moving up. I'm just looking at it. I want to have good volume. And you could do other scans on this too. You could definitely do other scans. Scans on float. You could add criteria to it to make your search a little bit more better. It's interesting. Nice pullback here. Go on to the next one. These are in alphabetical order, so they could be some good ones at the end here. I might break this down to a month chart also. It's hard to see these. It's not going to be much in the last month because of the holidays. TLC, all right. Let's take one last one here. VAPO. It's an interesting one. VAPO. All right, let's break this down. Not the last quarter, but the last month. See what shows up here now. Total 6 of them. All right. Yeah. ARYA. Now if we click on something like that, we get the charts. It's a crazy chart. I want to see what let's see what else we could learn from this. It's not giving us much information here, which is probably a good sign if it's a scam or not. All right, we're going to pass. I don't see anything that's jumping out at me right now, so let's jump off of that. But that's something I want to keep you know, as the IPOs come back around, I usually do find some good setups there on the IPOs. That clips, I remember when this came out. We have been a while since we looked at this. And again, look at this thing. Consolidated around June and then finally popped from $5 to $17 and then chopped around. Eventually came all the way back down underneath its IPO price, down to $1 and bounced to $5. And now it just seems to be consolidating. Craziness. Crazy. Sorry, I left I left this on. I guess I'm gonna have to cut that out. But looking back here, October 30th is where the earnings came out, and it popped big here. Beat third quarter expectations by 11 cents on inline, guided fourth quarter above expectation, and raised fiscal 18. And look at it; it's actually underneath that level. It actually traded down underneath that level into the market, pullback, and now it's right back at that level. So it's a reset of the earnings. That looks good. You know, I don't know if we're going to get a better opportunity on this one, but the earnings were really, really good on this. And it gapped up to 70 and then it pulled all the way back down to close that gap, 56. Now it's 63. How do you chase this? Went from 56 to 63. 7-8 points. I want to put a pullback target on this just to get a little pullback, get us in on this. Let me fix that up for you right now. All right, here it is. This is Alchemy, AKAM. Alchemy, let me bring down the symbol so you can see it. Alchemy Technologies over here. The chart is so big on this. So I'm trying to fit it all in for you. Just to kind of give you a good look at it. When we looked at the chart, the pullback, the bounce off of the gap. I'd like to get a little pullback and look for a move higher. I don't know if that's going to happen. It does look like a good setup. Remember, earnings came out back here in October, and they guided higher. 2000, everything looks good on this. Nice pullback, closed the gap, bounced originally. Looking for a first pullback and entry. I don't know if we're going to get that. It seems to be holding the 20-period moving average. Might want to take an early entry on that or scale in, where we could get a position here, a little cost average in. I think it is good for a stock, pure stock trade instead of the options, AKAM. Trade this one a lot, so it looks fine here. Let me send this out. HPS quality setup here. Here is COUP, and COUP falls into category with Workday, ServiceNow, even Square, and again Taboo or Data. All very quality names holding above the 200 period moving average. So it recently broke out of the channel, little pullback. It didn't trigger. We still have it as a watching thing, but it would be a buy above 67 here. So it's very close to getting that. Remember, if it doesn't get above that level, it won't trigger the stop. So, this is still a level that we're looking for a breakout of. Still looks good. I think we get through that and we move higher. Not a good stock, and that's currently active right now. Currently active as an HPS watch list stock. So we have quite a bit here. We have the AKAM, the Match.com, the Data, the LUV. We're in a lot of these, the Match and the LUV, the COUP and the COUP. ServiceNow, we've already traded out of that. It hit its target this week. JP Morgan still in the watching phase, and OXY. We'll take a look at both of those. First of all, let's take a look at JP Morgan. Now, a lot of these, I think JP Morgan was one of those stocks that pulled back in the market rebound, and I didn't want, as you can see here, let's see, it didn't hit its buyout trigger, buy trigger yet. So again, another one that pulled back, and we pushed right up. Look at how that buy trigger is held up as resistance. So you know that these lines are really good. Pushed up to it. We didn't tag it. We didn't break out of it yet. But this is a decent pullback. Again, with the market capitulating recently, breaking down out of a lot of patterns. This did the same. It broke down, but came back really strong. And now it's back in that zone where we're interested in it, but need to get back above that level. I think we get back through this 102 area, which I think my target is, right? Buy trigger is 102. We get through 102, and we're off to the races. I have calls on this one going out to February. Target is 105 to 107, and possibly even higher. Next week, we have the banks starting to come out with earnings. Citigroup on Monday, and we go down the list. We'll talk about those more on the show early next week. But look for JP Morgan to be coming out. So holding that into the earnings is always a gamble. That being said, it hasn't hit its trigger yet, and if it does, it does. Here's Occidental Petroleum. Decent downward channel. Again, oil and gas stocks have been hit a lot. So this never really got, again, our buy trigger hanging up right up there. We never broke out of this channel to the upside, which is fine. Never got us in the trade. It's broken down, came down. That buy trigger still is hanging up here, but I wouldn't say it's active. I actually would watch that stop area, which we came down to, broke through, retested it, and came down, and we're retesting again. I'd actually watch that stop zone as a potential buy trigger. I'm not going to reset this one. If anything, I'll probably take it off because this buy trigger up here is out of whack now. We were looking at this as a trade up here. It never qualified, never broke through. So I'm taking it off the radar, taking it off the list. It just doesn't look like a viable trade right now. So let's cancel that one out. Just to do another cleanup here, I just want to mention the HBI, which is another one of those. It was a decent wedge pattern with a breakout, but it never got through our breakout zone. It pulled back with the market pullback. So it's not active. It never got active. I want to take it off because, again, out of whack. There is a downward trend line, but I'm not interested in this one anymore. So this is Haynes brand HBI. Moving on. It didn't activate, so we're taking it off. We got to mention Waste Management. It's a beast. Even though the market not really doing much today, that was trending up all day and just kind of bucking the trend. Closed on the highs. Waste Management, a great company. And at the highs, it's just at the highs. It's hard to not believe that doesn't go higher. RSG, Republican Services, I believe that is another waste management company. It's not as bullish, or the chart is not as nice as the Waste Management, but both of those. Waste Management, much nicer chart. No reason to chase it here, though. That's the problem. I'd wait for a pullback. It's really extended. But I had that on a list also. What's that? The Moon Panorama. Stunning. All right. gold, alchemy, Corning. Let's take the Corning. Let's take a look at that GLW. I think I looked at it before. Off that lower trend line, Corning. Always a fun one of mine. I like Corning. Again, it did pull back to that trend line. This is a great pattern. Remember, we talked about candles like this. If you have a classic top trend line, you have a pivot on the bottom, and you have a kind of an area where you see that candle break down but correct real fast and everything staying in the way. Don't put your trend line to the bottom of this. Keep what it looks like. This is a flash in a pan or whatever it is. It doesn't belong to be charted out properly. You just want to keep the trend line at the closing prices here. And as we came down to a bounce, and then this secondary bounce was great. So this actually looks quite good. $30, not bad. I was looking back here. Oversold. It's kind of extended here, but it is, I would consider this, again, another type of divergence where you have a nice double bottom, a higher low on the 14.3 and the 9.3, and if we get an opportunity on this, I'm gonna circle it. I'd almost want to put a buy on this one with a breakout of the recent high, which would be 30.40 would be the breakout of this one. 30.40 right here. And that would bring us back up to the 200. And this channel eventually probably breaks out to the upside. GLW with the double bottom divergence. Double bottom divergence, GLW. Should we put it on there? I want to keep it on my page. I'll bring it up during this show. I don't know. I'll pass for the first day. Maybe I'll add it on Tuesday if it hangs up here pretty good. The candle back here gapped it down, gave us the divergence. It was just a nice divergence. Actually came back down to that level right here. Look at that big candle breakdown. We retested that, tested a few times, now bouncing off it. It looks good, it really does look good. The key is down at the lower trend line here, though. That's the key. All right, I circled it. I probably might look at this earlier on in the week. I'm not going to add it to the HPS watch list right now, but if I did want to do that, I'd have a breakout above the recent high, which would be about 30.50. 30.50 would be the breakout on that, and that does look pretty good. 30.50. All right. We're going to finish up with the watch list today by just looking at some, I haven't done an update on the bot, and I wanted to do an update on the VERU. Still holding VERU long and strong, waiting for some news that's expected to come out this month on some of their testing and stuff. And, I think once we get that, we're back on track on this one. But nothing, we had a pop the other day, kind of drifted back down. And again, that's the status on that. No change on that. The LIXT, LIXT is another one. And again, take a look at the daily on this. It just consolidated. Who knows where this thing could go? Who knows? Could drop a little further. It could pop way up here to it could double very easily. This thing, just another oncology company, biotech holding. Well, so in a couple of these cheapies, we've been doing pretty good. We're in the alpha over the last couple of days, so we had a nice bounce on that over the last few days. I took it at 60.01, took it off at 61, 661. It actually went up above 7 with all that news on cannabis. So those are looking very nice. And then there's a couple other things. Oh, I wanted to do a bot update, but I kicked the cord out of my computer. I had to restart this. So this is actually, I'm merging these two videos together, and I had the bot up. And I was going to show you the results today. I think it was a positive day on the script. Again, I'm running 2 scripts, testing them. The Divergence script got chopped up in the morning, but realized that you know, I wanted to see that get chopped up so I could go back and adjust some of the parameters and try to, you know, realize where the best time to use this. The other script didn't get chopped up at all. I actually made some money today, and that is taking the lead. Now, I'll be doing more updates on this as we go on, but I'm showing it full time now on DTR2. So probably start next Sunday night when I start to feed up again and cover the opening of the futures Sunday evening. We'll have the bot up running overnight. Again, still in sim mode. You'll be the first to know when I put real, you know, cash in that. I'm using the NinjaTrader platform, and been working on it for about 3 months, and I'm starting to get some good results. And you could watch it every day here at Day Trading Radio. So again, on your membership dashboard, on the lower left-hand corner, there's a auxiliary channel. You click on the play button. You won't see it automatically pop up. You have to actually click on the play button. But from that point on, you could actually switch back and forth, and you could hear audio coming out of both. Great little setup we have. So that is the update on the bot without bringing everything back up, because everything crashed and I had to start the computer back up. And it just takes so long to get that going. But be sure, you know, next week I'll do a full update video dedicated to the bot and updating it. And that's about it. I'm looking forward to next week, even though we're kind of extended. We'll leave off talking about the SPX one more time. It just looks strong. The trend line, we followed the trend line today. So watch that trend line. It held up pretty good. It started to bounce, and that's exactly where we rallied. It also was kind of a divergence there, a double bottom, a little higher low on the stochastic. Just very bullish. News is going to play a part in this market, of course. And it's a game of musical chairs now when we talk about some of the indicators. But this could actually, because the weekly, remember when the weekly, doom and gloom, but when the weekly's on your side, like back here, we rallied every week for like, you know, half the year, it seemed like. And once you get, you know, we're starting to get that phase up. We're just starting to lift here, So that could cause that daily to kind of be embedded up here if we get a follow through out of this pattern back up to the 200. I see that happening down in our future. You know, in the very near future, unless there's any bad news in the market that really shakes the market to the core. It's been absorbing this, and this again, you know, I don't think we get a retest of the low, but we'll see. We'll see. I think we have more upside coming, and I think that's it. I would say best bet, kick-ass trade of the week, and next week, still see the airlines continue to push higher. The LUV out of that pattern, that's, you know, it's not going to break out of the wedge pattern probably in a week, but over time this is going to break higher. I got a few new ones on the HPS watch list. You know, they're breakout plays, the AKAM. I didn't even mention the LABU, which I have the options in that. That still looks pretty good too. I'd love to see, you know, some of these continue to gap up if there's any deals in the drugs, the biotechs that should help the LABU. So I have the, all right, so, and the data down here, DATA, excuse me. This is very interested on the pullback, the lower trend line, and the 60-minute time frame, which looks good. So we're looking at that also. It's the best bet here. I'm still pushed to the limit on the best bet. I want to almost say that you know, that could actually be. Oh yeah, you know what? I almost forgot. Tightstop member wanted me to mention the HIG. I had it written down here. Insider buying on this. It does look good, plus the divergence back here. So insider buying, divergence, squeezing between the 20 and the 50. I think I have to put this one on the watch list, all right? I'm going to put this one on the watch list. Tightstop brought it to my attention. Nice inverted head and shoulders, cup and handle. A lot of goodness in this chart. A lot of goodness in this chart. I would actually look for a breakout, and I want to actually add this one to the HPS watch list. I'm going to have to open up all my charts again, but I think we're going to put that one in there. Give me a second here. All right, the symbol is HIG. HIG, Hartford Financial Service Group, and this is the setup. Nice trend line, nice divergence. The divergence predicts a breakout of the trend line. So this is kind of the secondary move. The divergence is always the best move, and look at that. I mean, but this also has a lot of other, you know, things working for it. It has the divergence, it has the trend line break, it has a good consolidation, it has insider buying, which tight stops mentioned today, and that's what brought it on the radar. Has a decent pattern and a decent breakout to zone. So what I want to do is just show you, I'll use this video and actually show you how to find out about the insiders fast. I go over this every so often, and kind of update you on this and see what Rob was seeing. Here, let me do that fast. So you go to finviz.com. Again, I showed you this before. Go to screeners. Actually, you could do insiders here and look at general, the latest insiders in all stocks, all the stocks right there. Just click through that. Go to top insider buying for the week or selling, whatever. Or you go over here, you go over all the way to the right, and you could do the trends. You could change this up and stuff to buy and sell. And unless, again, you have to deal with the pop-up ads. So you'll see a bunch of things here. FedEx actually had some. MDT, it's actually a lot here. These are the top insiders for the recent week. So Medtronics, FedEx, eBay. Here's the HIG that he mentioned. He said it was a couple. So I'm just going to click on the HIG, and I'll bring you right to the chart. And from the chart, you just scroll down. Actually, a lot of upgrades on this too. Neutral to buy, all in October and September and December. Let's go back and take a look at the mess. This October, November, December. So they've been putting buy targets on this or buy upgrades on this in October, November, December as it's been going down. So this looks really good. And we scroll down a little bit further, all the way on the bottom. You'll get to the insider section. You can see January 10th, Chairman and CEO buying 11,000 shares, $500,000 worth. Total shares, 135,000. That's the Chairman and CEO. And then we also have Julia, Director, picking up 5,000 shares. Apparently she sees it's a value down here at $41. And that's what we're looking at too. $41. It's at 44 now. So, but anyway, still looks good. I would actually consider this one of the best bets for a move. Remember, holding the just a standard 1 to 2 point move on this. It's a $40 stock, $44 stock. We're going to use our old 10 per 1,000 watch list structure on that. Looking for a buck on this, $1 to $2 on this trade. HIG. Let me get this set up for us. All right, so that's going to be it. We're going to wrap it up with that. We have a lot to look forward to next week. HIG, HKAM, Match.com, data, LUV is active, COUP, JP Morgan. Service now hit its target, but we still have Eli Lilly setting up. And that is currently, that's a nice list right there. So, again, I'm going to move the HIG to the best bet of the week. Don't have a position in it. We'll get in it probably on Monday on the break of the thing. Remember, as a member, we actually had a week open house. So I'm sending this watch list out as a open house watch list. And next week we'll be back to our closed membership. So I appreciate you guys who are members, doing this. We always do the kind of letting people see what's behind the curtain here at Day Trading Radio. So if you're getting this and you like what you see, come on over, become a member. It's very affordable. It's $49.95 a month. You get so much for that measly amount. When we talk about your dashboard, let me see if I can bring that up. Here's your dashboard. Let me sign in. I want to sign into the site. Sign in here. Boom. So you go to the dashboard, which I should zoom out so you can see the whole thing. There's nothing playing here. Remember, I just kicked out my cord, so there's nothing playing on the dash, or nothing playing in the show here. This is where the bot plays. When I have the bot going on, we push that, but nothing's playing right now. All the trade alerts, everything that you could, all news, trade alerts, your squawk, your news squawk, your pressure, market pressure. All your links up here are the most important links. That's where the watch list is, which I'm going over right now. Right on the top. Also have our chat rooms in here. We have our trading chat rooms, which you just click on those links and you'll open up into a nice chat just pops up over here. It's popped up off the screen here a little, but that's where that'll pop up for you right there. And there's a lot of goodness in that. So let's go back to this. That's where you also get the alerts. Remember, if you're on the dashboard and you sign up and you have those alerts, you could pick what alerts you get. There's separate alerts. There's our trade alerts that go out every time a trade is placed. Then we have the HPS alerts, which send out when they're triggered, which you see me doing today. And then we have other alerts, the Rambot alerts, which are Divergence alerts, and soon to have the bot alert. I'm probably a week away from getting that alert, the overnight alerts, going for you for those ES and futures traders that want to take advantage of that. So lots of good things for members there. So I want to end with that. Have a great weekend. I'll see everyone Monday, Sunday night, futures open. And we always like to watch that. So have a great evening. Have a great weekend. And we'll see you in the markets.